You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Da 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 da.
We have to ask our audience.
We do.
Sound should be working now.
Is the sound working now?
Is functioning audio something that is important to you? Or is it just kind of okay watching us hum? Because that's what we were doing
You
a
think
moment ago.
this gives you power over me?
Sorry. Yes. You know what? What I started to hum was fight songs, and made me realize
like a freestyle kind of a thing. Then.
Well, it started out as a freestyle, and then I was like, I should do the Beavers fight song right now. And it also reminded me that when my kids like to play marching band, my 3-year-old and almost 2-year-old, and they'll just walk around the dishwasher / island in our kitchen, which is super tiny. And I realized that while they're playing marching band, when they ask me to play, I'm just going to start humming fight songs. And so I do the Beavers and I do Hoquiams. And then sadly, Aberdeen's is stuck in my head from my mom singing it as a kid.
I think it's a good thing. It gives you a little bit of, diversity of fight song.
They're all good. They're all quality fight songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also the same fight songs that everyone uses.
Exactly. Yeah. Except for stupid Washington. Theirs is horrible.
Stupid Washington.
Washington has the worst fight song.
Yeah, and State.
And State. What?
What?
You said and State?
Yeah. Washington is the worst fight song, and Washington is the worst
is
state.
the worst state.
Yeah. Third worst?
California exists.
Yeah, good point.
So
but
does
there's
Massachusetts.
I guess we're not going topographically here. Because topographically, this state is really cool.
I take it back. Washington's a great state.
There we go. It's a great. Royal guy says, sorry, Justin, I know how bad you guys wanted the dub. Yeah, I was listening to that game for a little bit, and it just seemed like every time Monty got a breath of life, it was just turned around with a sledgehammer to the face. Yes.
I mean, it is a bummer, and we'll talk about it more a little bit later. But also, now we don't have to go get 40-point mercy ruled by Royal.
In the state title game.
So,
isn't that going to be fun to watch?
What's going to probably happen.
100%. Like, my guy. It's going to be bad. Real bad.
Yeah. I mean, Royal just...
And I can be here for it because as much as maybe I thought I didn't like Royal, and, as much as I like to go underdog story, I tend to root against Christian schools. It just happens.
Yeah.
It's almost like they recruit or something.
Could be. And, when a Christian school or a Catholic school
Yeah.
Has a huge surge where all of a sudden they become great in all sports. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's
a little weird. And you're right. It is all the sports too.
Yeah.
I
think they just won a state track title in the spring.
What?
Seton Catholic. I'm pretty sure.
Out of here. I also got to say that I had another person say, "Oh yeah, I bet Royal has it kind of like Monty, where a lot of the best athletes from around the surrounding area ends up going to Royal." And I had to remind Mr. Gross that there is no surrounding area with Royal.
There's farmland.
There's some farms, and there's some land.
They're
but
making
there's
a lot
not
of all
many
reds,
people.
and I assume there's some steroids or human growth hormones involved.
What is going on down there? Are you fighting with Mavis?
No, she's being playful with Smudge.
I think you're trying to fight the dog.
She is making a really funny growling noise. Mavis is a very small puppy, for anyone who's wondering.
Sorry, I turned on the stream just in time to hear that. Nick says Seton has some dudes. It sounds like it. Yeah, like absolutely.
There's
Yeah,
no one's
Royals.
listening to you, Daniel.
Royals going for a 5-peat. This is disgusting. Yeah, nobody's listening to anything I'm saying because there's the cutest puppy in the world. Hi. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for the kisses. Yes, thank you.
You too, Pax. You're a good boy.
Pax is like, I'm still here, okay? All right. Anyway, enough of us blathering on. Shall we get this show on the road?
Get the
Commode.
toad on the road.
Commode? Abode? Local sports random.
Montesano's football season came to an end in the state semifinals on Saturday with a 35-14 loss against Seton Catholic in Vancouver. A 46-yard touchdown pass from Tyson Perry to Marcus Hale on a flea flicker made it a 21-14 game early in the fourth quarter, but too many mistakes and missed opportunities down the stretch led to the Bulldogs' loss. Zach Timmons caught an 11-yard pass from Perry for Monty's other touchdown. Timmons led the Bulldogs' rushing attack with 61 yards on 12 carries. Torrin Kreitz caught a team-high 6 passes for 42 yards, and Hale led the team in receiving with 55 yards on 2 catches. Also blocked a field goal.
Nice. The Grace Harbor College men's basketball team is on a 3-game winning streak and is off to a 4-3 start this season after a 56 home win over Wenatchee Valley on Sunday. Stats were not available yet from this game, but according to the NWAC website, sophomore guard Josh Adamsill Jr. is leading the Chokers in scoring with 18.8 points per game as he gets buckets. Grace Harbor will be back in action on a Friday when they play in a tournament in Edmonds. They will face Peninsula on Friday, Whatcom on Saturday, and Edmonds on Sunday.
That will conclude this edition of the Local Sports Roundup because we haven't quite started winter sports yet.
Question.
Yeah.
Right before we get into the real meat stuff,
Muff.
Ian
I regret that.
Yes,
I didn't think about it before
Nope.
I said it. I'm sorry about that.
just whipped it out there.
Well,
Daniel says the Bulldogs were turned into Dachshunds. Ouch. Royal guy says Royal will beat Seton. Nick says, I want to know how many points you'd give in that Royal Seton game. I'm thinking Royal minus 30.5.
I think that sounds pretty close. I mean, like 42 or 49-14 seems pretty reasonable to me.
Don't bet on high school sports.
Yeah, that too. I have a hard time imagining Royal holding Seton Catholic's offense scoreless. Like, they're so good. Their running back, Jacob Williams, is awesome. He also had 2 interceptions and a pick 6 in the game. They also have a wide receiver named like Calamari or something like that. That's really good. Their quarterback is a guesser, and he's also awesome. So and also, as I was watching this game with my son, who is like an actual football mind, not unlike me,
Yeah.
was pointing out that, hey, Seton Catholic's linemen are not like big. They're not just big oafy guys. Like they're big guys who are actually athletic enough to become a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if there's a team out there that's ready to go give Royal some trouble, and if by trouble you mean maybe score once or twice, yeah, it's probably Seton Catholic. Sure.
The other thing, Nick says, I'll take the points. Ooh.
Nick's looking for a closer game.
Nick showing that he covers Seton Catholic
So I
a
said-
little bit.
I said 42-14. Is that 28 points?
Yeah. Oh, so you
All
would
right.
also.
So if I went 28.5,
Ooh. That's a different question. Now you're
Yeah.
moving the bar based on one person taking the
a
points.
little bit.
Sounds like what bookies do. Justin, on the radio broadcast, and I don't fault him at all because everybody calls it this. But when you hear double reverse,
Yeah.
what do you think of in your head?
I think of a play where a running back gets the ball,
Yep.
hands it to a receiver going the other way, and then hands it to another receiver going the other way.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
It's not a reverse.
And
it's a
you
double
lever
reverse.
and you never see that.
No.
Like I can't remember.
I used to run that play in Madden 94.
Yeah, I think so. Where it's like one guy going
Yeah.
one way, another guy going back,
Yeah.
and then another. That's a double reverse.
That was a money play.
But,
and then you take
dude-
the double reverse and you flip it around and run backwards 30 yards, and
Yes.
then you go run
Right.
for a touchdown. Yeah.
But it seems like everybody sees a normal reverse, and they're like, "Oh, the double reverse."
Yeah.
And Ian fell victim to this. We gloat about how good Ian is as a broadcaster, but he fell into the classic trap. He said the flea flicker was a double reverse toss back to the quarterback flea flicker.
You just said the classic trap, and I almost said the class. I am on fire right now.
He fell victim to one of the world's classic blunders. One. Don't get into a land battle in Asia. The other. Sorry.
You never mess with a Sicilian when
Never.
death is on the line.
Get into a battle of wits with this
Yeah,
Sicilian.
thank you.
Oh boy, I fail. Sorry, I didn't quote the Princess Bride exactly
Yeah.
right.
Jeez, dude, that's actually like
You should feel that.
that's like a
I
capital
also
offense.
don't know how Frodo got the ring to Mordor. I'm not a giant nerd.
Well, you knew who Frodo was and what Mordor is, so
Because I have friends who are
Guess
nerds.
again.
Because I have friends who are nerds.
all right, Justin. This season, I think it surprised me as much as it grew on. Gosh, this is gonna be a weird show. As the season went on, as
was
it
a growth.
progressed,
It was a
I
growth
saw.
on you.
Yeah, it was like it's like a
Should
right
get
there.
that checked out.
Yeah. The defense in particular really grew on me for this Monty squad, and I stuff it.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
You made faces.
Yeah. Well, I have a face. This is how God made me.
Sadly. And they went further than I originally thought they could. And yet, when they got into this game, I thought they had every chance in the world to go get the win because of how good their defense was. So that does tell me something about how good that Seton Catholic offense is.
I think if we look at this thing in perspective, and Coach Jensen had a quote in the Daily World, that article that I thought was great.
Go
which is-
subscribe.
Exactly. Go subscribe. They need you. And good job by Ryan Sparks, the Daily World editor, for getting good quotes and writing up good game recaps, especially in the playoffs. He did an excellent job. But Coach Jensen said, right now this hurts. But if you had told us at the beginning of the season that we finished third in the state,
Yeah.
tied for third in the state, we would feel pretty good about that. And I think, Daniel, when you and I talk about, with squeaky voices and everything going through puberty, that
As we do.
that we talk about, like, when we have a high school football team that we think is really good, we almost never say, we think this team's really good, they're going to go win a state title.
Right.
We say things like, this team's really good, they're going to make a deep state push, they could maybe make the semifinal. Like, this is
Yeah.
a state semifinal caliber team.
Yep.
And that's because making the state semifinal is so freaking hard.
Yes, seriously.
And once you get to that point, typically anybody can beat anybody except Royal. And I just
Or
think
Tumwater.
basically making it to the semifinal, like once you get to that point, and they were playing against Seton Catholic, Bulldogs made a lot of mistakes, man. Some costly turnovers, some real miscues in key situations that it trumped the good things that they did in the game. It negated the good things they did in the game.
Yep.
But like toe to toe, if they play that game 10 times, Seton Catholic's not winning 10. Those are two really good teams, and they could play again. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if the outcome was same score, Monty wins. If a few things go differently,
Right.
So I think if you have, this is so hard, especially for people who are in it.
Yes. Gosh.
But if you have perspective on it, you realize, like, this was a great season.
Mm-hmm.
You flipped the script from the year before where you had maybe a more talented team that didn't get tested all season.
Yep.
Got into a state playoff, played a team they were probably better than, and got shocked in the first half and lost.
Yep.
And then this year's team lost a few games, but was battle tested.
Mm-hmm.
Lost against really good teams. Won against really good teams.
Lost against Rochester.
Lost against Rochester,
Great.
weirdly, because of the weather and other factors. But also, I hate going back to that because I
Sorry.
feel like every time we'd say it, it takes something away from Rochester. Like they didn't
That's
deserve
okay.
to win that game. They
I know you're a
absolutely-
Rochester guy now.
Ethan Rodriguez.
Yeah, Ethan Rodriguez is awesome.
But I think if you look at what they did over like that 5-game win streak,
Yep.
in which they beat Nooksack Valley, which was the number 5 team, and they beat La Center, which was a number 3 team, and we're boring, Andrew. I'm sorry, Andrew. But I think you have to look at this season as a whole as overwhelmingly a positive result. And it's not going to make the seniors feel any better
Right.
that their last game was an L, but you just did something that almost never happens. You made it to a state semifinal. Like, I mean, it happened in 2012. It happened in, was it 2016, 2015?
Yeah, I think one
You
of
know,
those years.
Hutton Napier's senior year.
Yeah.
They made it to a state semifinal. It's hard, man.
Yep.
There's been some really good teams that don't get there.
Yep.
So I think you got to feel really good, overwhelmingly good about how this season ended for Montesano.
Yep. Absolutely. Running down the rest of the big schools, Elma finished this with that state play-in or the Week 10 game, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Thanks WIAA, really came up with another gem there. Hoquiam went 2-7 and 0-4 in league. So you know what? One more win than last year, baby. So just watch out next year.
Yeah.
If we double our wins again,
Well,
we'll have 4 wins.
That's better. I mean, that if you look at what Elma did, that can get you to a state play-in.
Yep, that's true. And then Aberdeen's district piggytail, they lost in that one, and they had 4. So, you know.
I want to talk a little bit about like
My dad said that the only reason Monty did good was because you chewed him out after that first game.
I would love to take all the credit. I don't think. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, it was all you. You would love to take all the
I
credit,
would love to
and
take
you're
all
going
the
to.
credit, and I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, not only for what I brought to the team,
Yeah.
which was words,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes
And-
positive, sometimes negative.
And a famous son.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you
that was
can't
last
take
year.
you
This is
can't
this year.
well, you can't take Peyton to a game anymore without
So true.
like everybody flocking after him.
I love going to Monty games with Peyton.
You
Everybody
know what
loves him.
happened when I went to games the year after I graduated?
Yeah.
Not a dang thing. I had to go reintroduce myself to my coach. Hey coach, who are you? Oh,
I just played for you for 8 years.
no. That coach, he came in.
Oh.
I was thinking basketball, I
Oh.
guess. So Eccles only had me for 1 year.
Okay.
So he actually might have forgotten who I was.
He didn't though.
He might have. I don't know.
I wanted to kind of like I wanted to just as a wrap up on football season. We've talked so much about Monty, and deservedly so, because some really great players stepped up in huge moments, and this team was an overcoming team. You know, they lost to La Center very badly week 1. They came back, won a state playoff game against La Center.
Yeah, take
they
that,
went
La
from
Center.
being an 0-2 team that nobody believed in
I didn't.
to beating Napavine, which, by the way, Napavine is now in the 2B state championship game against Okanagan.
Yeah.
So Napavine's really good. Monty beat them.
Yep.
But then also, like,
Is
you
it
go,
Napavine Okanagan again?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
All they do is
then,
play each other.
It's so true over the last few years. And then you go lose that game to Rochester. Everyone's scratching their heads. Okay, what happened? And then they rip off.
They got lice.
They rip off
Sorry.
a 5-game win streak
Like
in
a
which they
Band-Aid.
beat Nooksack, the number 5, La Center, the number 3, get to the state semifinals. Great season. They deserve all the recognition that we've given them. But I want to kind of discuss a little bit like the contrast in these different seasons for just these 4 teams. We have teams outside of them, you know, Raymond, South Bend, PL Willapa Valley, Acosta had a good season in 1B, and North Beach as well. I'm just squeaking all over the place today.
Yeah.
The scrimmage after dark is it just kind of happens, man.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Elma, super hot start to the season.
Very hot.
Soft schedule early on, big wins. They were king of the hill. I think
Yep.
we had a podcast titled Elma is King of the Hill
Yeah.
after week 2.
Little did we know we were only talking about a TV show from the 90s. Sorry.
They end up 4-6 with a state playoff loss to La Center. And by the way, La Center's really good. So like a playoff loss to La Center is not something to be embarrassed about.
Yep.
They went 2-2 in league. They earned a playoff spot. They beat Tenino, knocking Tenino out of the playoffs, which
Take
makes
that,
me so
Tenino.
happy. So thank you, Elma, even though sometimes we're enemies. On that day, we were friends. So Elma had that like kind of middle of the road, but I think you would look at that season as more successes than failures. Like you made it to a spot where you were in the postseason. Hoquiam is in rebuild mode, and so even though success on the field at the varsity level hasn't really been there consistently, all we're hearing about Hoquiam and all I saw with my own eyes when I watched the 8th grade team play is that good things are in the pipe. Like things are happening for this team. Probably 2-3 years from now, they're going to be significantly more competitive. They're going to have much better turnout, and things are going to turn around for the Grizzlies. And then I think for Aberdeen, you have this kind of weird, like they made it to this pigtail game, which I think is kind of stupid that they had to play the pigtail game.
Yep.
Again, when they're the 3 seed out of the Evergreen, they had to play a pigtail against the 5 seed from the Greater St. Helens. And the specific reason I think it's stupid, which Daniel, you brought up a couple weeks ago on this show, is that when you have Tumwater and WF West, which Tumwater is clearly far and away, sorry Anacortes, the best team in 2A.
Yeah.
Like not close. They're the Royal of 2A.
They might beat every team in the state.
They should be favored 42-14 to beat Anacortes,
Yeah.
which is the second best team in the state 2A.
Yep.
And then you have WF West, which also made a state semifinal. So they're one of the
Right.
4 best teams in state 2A also.
In your league. Yep.
And they're both in your league.
Yep.
Like, what are you going to do? So the fact that they beat Centralia, they beat Black Hills, they got that 3 seed, it's almost like outside of league, yeah, you can gripe with the fact that they lost to Tenino, they lost to Hoquiam, they beat Hoquiam, they lost to Olympic, they lost to Steel Lacoum, they lost some games that like maybe if things go differently, you can go win those games.
Right.
So they don't have the overall record that they want. But at 2-2, you finish 3rd place in the Evergreen 2A league. It's almost like the best you could hope for.
Right. Okay, we got some interesting comments in
Ooh,
here.
I want to go through that.
So Daniel says shadow coach of Monty football is Justin. He's a shadow coach.
I'm not going to say that. I don't. I already think that some of the coaches there don't like me, so I'm gonna.
Does that have something to do with you claiming credit for everything that their kids do?
I generally claim credit only for the accomplishments of the players.
Let's see. Chase says, I will admit that even as a huge Elma guy, Monty impressed him this year, made it a lot farther than he thought that he was giving them credit for. Nick says, stop. Tumwater isn't even close to Royal level. You mean like? Wait, I'm confused. Nick, what are you talking about? Like,
if he's saying
like, are you talking about like as a dynasty? Then yes, but Tumwater is playing much better teams than Royal is.
Nick picked Anacortes in the title game.
What?
Yeah, Nick believes Anacortes is king, whether they have Rex Larson or not.
Dude, did you see what Tumwater did to WF West? Which Anacortes had to work for to get that win?
They still beat him pretty soundly.
They beat him 35-14.
Yeah.
But Tumwater beat WF West 56-0.
Yeah.
56-0.
Yeah. I think Nick is, you know how...
Okay. Oh, wait. No. Chase says Tumwater would beat Royal easily. Wait, so would you think that Royal would beat Anacortes?
Ooh, I want to see that game, actually.
Wait, now Royal guy is saying that he doesn't think that Tumwater would beat Royal easily. I don't think you guys understand what Tumwater is. I have seen Royal come into stadiums before. You know what I never thought? Wow, they have a big team. And then the linemen show up. When I first covered a Tumwater game...
Daniel sees the Tumwater DBs coming off the bus, and he's like, crap, this team's big.
I saw the whole skill positions for Tumwater.
Corners weigh 300 pounds.
I saw 40 DBs, wide receivers, like linebackers, running backs. I saw 40 of them because that, by the way, their roster is like 90 deep. You see 40 of those guys come out on the field, and you're like, wow, Tumwater's got a big team. And then literally the linemen come out and you're like, holy bleep. This isn't fair. They're a freaking college program that has offensive and defense specific players so that they can make sure they get all of their freak shows on the field. Like, you guys don't understand if you're talking about how Royal could beat Tumwater. You just don't. Like, it's a different level. Now I really want to see that game. And that's the other thing. We don't get to see that game. That'd be fun.
First of all, sorry, Royal guy who still hasn't shared his name with us. Royal is not Tumwater.
I just went emotional Daniel there.
But I want to see the Royal Anacortes game. Like, I love to see that.
Yeah.
And Anacortes is really dang good. So I'm saying, like, Anacortes as the second best team in 2A is probably close to the same level as Royal, who's by far and away the best team in 1A. But pound for pound, Tumwater's the best team in the state. Like, this is Tumwater. Like, I get it. They didn't win. Like, they lost to Anacortes last year. I get it. They didn't win the state title last year.
Yeah.
It's a dynasty. This Tumwater team is particularly good. It's not even so much like, I saw these Tumwater teams in the past and they were amazing and their linemen were fat and their corners weighed 300 pounds of solid muscle.
Right.
It's this particular Tumwater team.
Yeah.
Is better than previous Tumwater teams.
Yes.
They beat a top 10 4A team this year. They're really good.
Yeah, you beat 4A schools who don't do anything, man. Sorry.
Who does?
Our COVID schedule is against 4A schools, and we still beat them by 40 points.
Who did?
Royal guy said that. Yeah. Yeah, but that was like Ellensburg.
There's nothing royal about that city.
Nick says Tumwater hasn't won a title since 2019. Yeah, that's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about this year.
What a drought, though.
Yeah, I know. 5 years. Oh, my gosh.
They're about to pick one up, but they haven't won one in 4 years.
Wait, we don't give Royal enough credit? Dude, all we talk about is how they win state every year. But, my guy, 1A football is not exactly the strength of the state.
My catchphrase last year was Royal is number 0.
Yes.
Because
they're ranked 0.
Refusing to admit that anybody could possibly be ranked ahead of them.
Yeah. I don't know.
If Tumwater doesn't win by 3 or 4 touchdowns, I'll be shocked.
Yeah,
I'll be shocked.
You know, and if they don't, then we can have this debate because Royal's probably going to win by 40.
Yeah,
and so then we can have this talk.
Or at least 35.
I'm really curious now, like to hear a couple of people talking the other end, but
49. I'm gonna go either 42-14 or 49-14. That's my guess. And the main reason for that is Jacob Williams is really gosh darn good. Like, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He's the running back for Seton Catholic. He's also a defensive back. He's phenomenal.
Right. Nick, dude, we got our comments fired up.
What did
Nick
say?
says, so Anacortes has no shot?
No shot.
No shot.
No shot. No
Is
shot.
this a repeat of last year's championship game?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anacortes won last year.
Anacortes won
Yeah.
last year. But this Tumwater team
So
is better.
Tumwater is a grudge match for Tumwater.
Yeah, Anacortes no shot.
Look, again, I know I fall a little bit too much into the trap of transitive properties, but WF West is a good team.
Yeah.
And they got beat 56-0. They couldn't even score when the freshmen were out there.
Did they even play Royal though?
No, but they played Anacortes. That's the
what
thing.
would
They
Royal have done to WF West?
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
Because when you Royal has proven in 1A to be so much better than everyone else. I do legitimately wonder, like, what if you let's set Tumwater aside because I'm sorry, Nick, they're ahead above everyone else.
Well, he
in
said
2A.
that because they won 60-30 last year. Again, that was last year. Like, how many kids graduated?
I don't know.
Like, Nick, are they bringing back the whole squad? Like, what's your, like, high school football?
I mean, it's Tumwater.
Most of the best players leave every year.
It's Tumwater. They probably had 65 players in the pipeline, and they stole all the best players from Black Hills too. So,
Well, that was a comment I missed, actually. Chase said that he was intimidated by Tumwater last year when they played Black Hills.
yeah, it's fair. Yeah, Black Hills basically Tumwater's JV team.
Yeah, exactly. Nick says, what? So was Anacortes all seniors or all juniors last year? Is that what you're about to tell me?
Anacortes has,
I know they have a dude who's ridiculous.
well, they have a receiver that's really good,
Yeah.
and then is it Beaner twins? Is it the Beaners?
I think I saw that. Is it Beamer or Beaner?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Nick will educate us, hopefully.
Anyway, sorry, Nick. Nick.
Dude, we got Nick hot.
So, but here's the thing. I have talked about how I wanted podcast beef.
Yes.
Nick wants podcast beef too.
Dude.
Pick Six podcast. This is your official challenge when you go live this week in your preview of state title games.
And you know what?
We are officially saying Seton Catholic has no shot against Royal.
None.
Anacortes has no shot against Tumwater.
0.
Those games are locks. If the spread on both of those was 28.5, I'd take the favorites.
And if we're not talking about a Witten, I don't want to hear about La Center. And if Nick is a true La Center guy, then he would know who we're talking about.
I feel a little bad for La Center, and I spent a little bit of time chatting with a La Center fan while we were there
Dude.
at that game, and their seasons, like, La Center has had some good teams. This was the best team they've had by far. Their seasons always end with a fart.
I know.
They always lose to a lower seeded team in the state playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't understand exactly what's
some
happening.
of the parents were chirping about it to you too, but
it's frustrating.
we'll leave that in the past. Francis says, so Tumwater poaches like Monty does. My guy,
Way
you know what? Way worse, especially the fact that they just created another school in like the same exact area who plays on the same field just so all of like the kids not as good at football can go to that school. Like that literally happened.
Yeah.
That way the school doesn't have to go up in classification.
Exactly.
Does that
but
happen
also,
with Centralia and
but
Chehalis too?
oh, 100%. Everybody goes to Chehalis. Everybody goes to WF West. Yeah. And then if they want to be good at sports and have a nice school, but they don't care that much about being good at like
winning.
They care about winning. They care more about winning than being at the top competition. Then they go to Napavine because Napavine is just another 15 minutes down the road.
Okay.
So Napavine is very like Montesano-esque.
I don't like that.
Sorry. But you know what? Again, it's school districts though too. Like I've brought this up recently, and that's why I bet Anacortes is good all of a sudden. Anacortes is a beautiful town. Have you been to Anacortes?
No.
I hate it, but it's gorgeous.
Where is it?
It's like north of Seattle.
Okay.
Beautiful area. Lots of oil money. So I'm sure all of their facilities are awesome. Their school district's probably great. So I bet all of the, rich kids who are good at sports go to Anacortes. Then you go up to Linden for that whole area. I don't care. They can move into Canada.
Linden's
Sorry.
pretty cool though. Like the actual town is pretty cool.
Is it though?
Is it though?
No, you're right. It sucks. It sucks. It all sucks.
Also, I gotta say, the reason why Tumwater hasn't won since 2019, just give my Hoquiam alum Willie Garrow some time to build that program back into the dynastic thing it was before Coach Auden left it in a shambles, of course.
Coach Auden left it in shambles. Oh, that's funny. Just watching his son play in the NFL.
Yeah, you know.
Catch touchdowns. Become one of the best players on the field.
Let's see. Anacortes didn't even have a varsity team 5 years ago. Whoa, that's nuts. Wait, why?
A varsity what team?
Why didn't they
Varsity
have a
swim
varsity football team 5 years ago?
Who said that?
Were they one of those schools that forfeited to Archbishop Murphy all those times?
Maybe.
Like,
I don't
remember
know.
when that was happening?
Yeah. That was for player safety.
They probably
reasons.
didn't have
Oh,
a
yeah.
football team because it's up near Western. Didn't Western give up football too?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a
I
good
like
point.
how I'm just like north of Seattle, up in
Up-
the area of Western.
No, you're right though.
Dude.
Everything north of Seattle is just up there. Like
Dude, Chase says Matlock is the best town in the state, honestly. A lot of interesting things to do. Dude, Chase knows his audience. That's quality work right there.
what? I would like
Nick-
a list of the interesting
Nick
things
says-
to do in Matlock. Are
Nick
they all hunting and fishing related?
Probably.
Okay.
Nick says low turnout. That was interesting. So just because of low turnout, how in the heck do they go from low turnout 5 years ago? Dude, there's some shady stuff going on in Anacortes football. I'm sorry.
You notice that Linden
you don't-
football
Is
got
it
worse?
just a coach and program that get kids excited to come out? Because
How-
that could also happen.
in 5 years?
Yeah, you could if you could make it cool.
So
to be
you're
on the
just
team.
saying that Anacortes has all of the best players, and you just need a coach who's like, "Hey,
If-
Bobby, you should play football."
Maybe people
I'm
want to
not
move to the
saying
beautiful
that's
town.
what happened. I'm saying that that's within
Dude,
the realm
there's
of
some
possibility.
there's some Bellevue stuff going on in Anacortes. If they go from no program in 5 years to state champ dominance,
Yeah.
what?
And Royal steals signs. But we can move on to our next thing. We did I really
my
enjoyed
my dad said Tumwater beats the Ducks. Well, Dad, they're both gross and green and yellow, so I don't know about that.
it. Isn't
Is-
Tootle Lake
wait.
the Ducks? Was he talking about Tootle
Oh,
Lake?
is he talking about Tootle?
Tootle?
The fake lake?
The fake lake? I knew I could bring up Tootle
Yeah.
Lake and it would get you. Every time it
Got
gets
me.
you.
Your dad's not riding the same wagon that all the UW fans are riding right now, right? Which is, the UW's obviously better in like everything but O-line and D-line.
Are they really saying that?
I've seen multiple people on the internet saying
What was the
that.
final of that game?
It wasn't close.
Yeah,
didn't-
no, I don't think he is. He just hates the Ducks a lot.
That makes sense.
I didn't watch that game because I was watching Monty lose to Seton Catholic.
I didn't watch it because I couldn't care less.
Royal says also stealing the state championship record from Bellevue. Yeah, we all know how Bellevue succeeded with that. Do we want to go back down this road? Anacortes?
Did he say that because I said they stole signs?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is Royal stealing? Give us a list of things that Royal is stealing.
Dude, maybe that's how they get kids into their area.
I don't picture Royal kids as thieves. I picture them as like cow tippers. Yeah.
Well, that's what's out there.
Yeah. Like what else would you like? How else would you have missed? There's a grocery store. Maybe Royal football player shoplift. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Maybe they shoplift. It's
Is
more
Nick
likely
out?
that
Did
they
I go
could-
too far? Dude, Nick, did I go too far? Chase says so in 5 years, Tyee will be playing in the state title game.
That's funny. That's really funny. We found out Tyee from Chase. Tyee is one of the 1A programs with no football team.
Yeah.
But although I think I heard Vashon Island be the ones who were blamed for not
Dude.
having a varsity program.
We
which
gotta get-
put the 1A under the level for a 16.
Dude, we got to get Kai up there, man. Get back to his alma mater.
Do you
Give him a
think-
pep talk
do you
about
think he has
getting a
a lot of-
football thing.
Do you think he has a lot of pull there?
I mean, he's a college football player after high school. I would think he'd have some pull. Royal says you guys should go to the Royal game, dude.
Where
Is
it?
that Friday?
Husky
Is that
Stadium?
game going to be
It's
Friday
gonna
at
be
Husky
Saturday.
Stadium?
It's gonna be Saturday.
Is it? Oh, somebody said Friday,
Friday?
and I thought that was
All
weird.
the games have been Saturday.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Like every playoff game has been Saturday.
Okay, then sorry, Royal guy. I got a wedding on Saturday.
I'm
that I
gonna
have
be
to go to.
working.
On Saturday.
I'm gonna be choosing to work on Saturday so I can not go to the Royal Seton Catholic State title game. Wait, actually though, Royal guy who still won't tell us your name. Will you be there? Could I meet you if I come to the game? Could I sit next to you and just do nothing?
Dude, he says Friday at 3.
Friday at 3.
1A is Friday. What?
Well, actually, that does make sense because
Why?
they have there's 6 classifications, so it would be hard to play all the games on one day.
So one of them has to play a school day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you, WIAA. Another brilliant wonder you've pulled out with here.
Daniel, it's the football state title game. You put everything aside for that. Education be damned.
But also a work day.
They don't even
I guess
really
basketball
do-
state is just in the middle of the days during the week too.
What's
so.
education in Royal?
You're right,
Cow
you're right.
milking?
You know, Justin, you are going hard right now, and you're starting to worry me a bit. He says, yeah, he's going to be at the game. Dude, what if Royal Guy is Coach Allred?
I've accused him of so many bad things.
That's
I
true.
would be. He would have left by now. It's not him.
He says Bellevue versus O'Day is after Royal.
I'd like to see that actually.
That would be pretty cool.
On a Friday?
Oh, Dave Beeler's showing up.
If I had nothing to do for 2
Dave?
days, if I had if this weren't like the busiest time of the year,
Yeah.
and I had nothing to do Friday, Saturday, I absolutely would go watch 6 state title games. That would be so cool.
That would be awesome. That was one of the best parts about covering that Monty game in 2012 when I actually got to go help cover that title was watching the games before and after.
when I had the best job in the building.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Which part was more fun? Was it watching the games or watching everyone try to clear the field between the games?
That was rough.
Because they say from the beginning
Yeah.
that another game has to be starting. You have to clear the field, but just nobody leaves.
Yeah, because you just won a state title.
Yeah.
And for the other team, you just lost a state title. So everybody's like, nobody wants to leave.
Yeah.
William McGaffey says it was Vashon Island that didn't field a team this year. They were scheduled to play Elma, but that game was then changed for Elma to play Sequim. Which, yes, I know it's pronounced Sequim. but
Oh, that game didn't go well.
No.
I was
it
there.
didn't. Yeah, they wish they could have played
Ev-
Vashon Island.
Every time I was there, the game didn't go well.
That's
for
true.
Elma.
Yeah, that's a good point. Have we just went down a rabbit trail like
That was so fun.
that was an
I actually don't
crazy.
even really care if anybody listening enjoyed that because it was really fun for me.
Well, I think we
when
I think
have
we
you, Justin?
legitimately
That's a good point, Andrew.
we legitimately created podcast beef with Nick. Yeah. Apparently I just went full what's the guy from New Girl? Nick.
Schmidt?
I just went full Schmidt
I
there.
thought you were doing vomit sound like
Nick. No, I've done that before. We all know what that sounds like. It's because we missed out on a real opportunity because of that, I feel like. My bad. Is it time to move on? What are we doing next?
Take that, Pick Six podcast. Here's your chance to respond. Let's see if they do. It'd be fun.
Are we doing a commercial break now?
Yeah.
Who's our Spivey? Wait, we're coming up with that next.
Yep.
But first, we're going to take a break.
Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Domashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Domashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit domashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com.
What's an estate? And how do you get one to plan for it?
We live in a state.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's a state? Then why do you need estate planning?
Well, you have to plan what state you're going to live in.
Oh, I thought you were just born there. Like, I haven't planned anything.
Or does it mean like a state of mind?
So it's not e-state? I thought it was like an
No,
internet state
an
thing because it's an
estate-
e-state.
An estate is
Ever
what British
wonder
people
about-
call station wagons.
Huh?
Oh. Do they really?
Mm-hmm.
Weird. So they're just driving around in an estate? Mm-hmm. Makes it so much harder to
I've
say.
never heard of that. I think he made that up.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised you haven't heard of that. It's not in the country, and
Which country?
that's a good question.
Ugh.
The country.
Ugh.
William McGaffey says, no, it didn't. It was your fault, Justin.
It was my. I'll wear that. Like mathematically,
Francis said, I hate listening already, so we're good.
mathematically, McGaffey's right. Like, there's no logical explanation for how bad Elma was when I was there as compared to when I wasn't there.
That's true. Francis. Freaking Francis. Francis said, "Pick 6 should be the name of the podcast you do when you're going solo." And then he put a little nose emoji. Because he caught me picking my nose last week.
You shouldn't have admitted it. You should have just been
It was
indignant
a
about
nose
it.
scratch. It was just a little like scratch of the nose.
Just a scratch on the inside of your nose that when you take your finger out of the inside of your nose, there's a booger on it. Like, it's just a scratch.
Oh boy.
Don't worry, though. He didn't eat it. He wiped it on the bottom of the table. It's fine.
Like a
fine.
civilized person. Of course I did.
No, you flick them into the ether is what you do. You kind of flick them and then they disappear.
Yeah. Fleether.
Magical.
Justin, Spivey Athlete of the Week. As much as I should be nominated for my amazing flicking skills.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, we only had one nominee that came from a sport that was played. And that was Marcus Hale.
Quality nominee.
Super quality nominee. I think not only...
I also thought it was interesting how Marcus led the team in receiving, and that's like the worst thing that Marcus does. And I don't mean that Marcus is bad at it.
downfield receiving.
I just mean like, of all the thing that Marcus does, and he's super great at, he turned into like one of their most effective receivers at times. And you're like,
I think...
what? Why?
I think if you look at...
Why? As much as I love Monty's coaching staff, why?
I think if you look at what about 50% of their pass plays are, it actually does kind of work with Marcus's skill level because there's a lot of short passes within the first 5 yards or behind the line of scrimmage. And he's really good at those because he makes people pay.
Yep.
Nobody gets him down easily. He drags would-be tacklers. It's the downfield portion of it. And did you watch the flea flicker play, Daniel?
The double reverse flea flicker?
The double reverse flea flicker.
No, I did not.
It was funny because it was like instead of throwing the ball deep, Tyson threw it short.
Okay.
And the DB just kept running. And so Marcus identified the ball and came and stopped.
Gotcha.
Which is actually perfect for him because he's really good at, so like you said, he's really good at so many things. Downfield over the shoulder catches aren't really his forte.
Right.
So it was perfect for him because then he got to have the ball in his hands and then become difficult to tackle and run into the end zone.
Yeah.
So that play was really good for what Marcus did. And as I pointed out, he is the defensive league MVP.
Yep.
And as I pointed out, he also blocked a field goal in the game coming off the edge, which was pretty cool. So led the team in receiving yards, had that big touchdown, and also blocked a field goal.
Francis says Royal would beat Tumwater so bad that there would be a running clock and they'd be homing time for evening milking. Royal guy then says, I don't know about running clock, but we'd still win.
And home in time for milking? Or
Dude, Francis, nobody cares about me flicking or frisbee golf, so I'm not going to read that one.
is it super hypocritical for me to make farm town jokes about Royal when I live in Montesano?
Is Montesano a logging town?
It's got a lot of farm.
It's
It's got a lot of farm.
A lot of farm,
on the
too.
outskirts
Yeah.
of the town. I mean, Elma Monte has a lot of farmland.
Yep.
It's not quite Royal level where you have to drive through 80 miles of farmland to get to the city that there's nothing royal about, but still, it's a little hypocritical. I'll admit on my part. So we have that option of Marcus Hale. We also, something we've done before sports seasons when we're kind of in that break. We had no winning teams from prep sports because there's no prep sports really going on.
Yep.
But we've done a player to watch thing.
That's
and
true.
We have basketball season coming up, and I don't want to discount there's other sports seasons coming up.
What?
I acknowledge there's other but we don't know as much about those.
Dude, this is very much a basketball cast.
So basketball.
I guess I should say pod.
Andrew
is
ultimate basketball guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Basically, we just don't know anything about wrestling.
yeah, well, we got. I mean, Monty's.
Wait, isn't boys swimming going too? Yeah, we got some boys swimming going. We got boys and girls wrestling, boys and girls basketball. Is that all the stuff in the winter?
I think that
covers it.
I think pretty much.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Wrestling and basketball is most
Right.
of it, but
And swimming.
But
Yeah,
I was saying
geez.
wrestling and basketball is most of it.
Right. That's
And,
true.
like, there's really good
Mathematically.
wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
You know, like, Monty has a couple of really good wrestlers coming back.
What?
Gabe Bahala, Felix Romero. There's some really good wrestlers coming back.
Elma has some good ones coming back too, don't they?
Probably.
Yeah, pretty sure they do.
Sorry, Chase. I only remember. Wait, I think Blaze Salazar.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, there's good wrestlers. There's gonna be some good wrestling going on in Grays Harbor County, but we know a little bit more about basketball. So what I was kind of thinking, and I wanted to know what you think about this, could we pick like one boy, one girl, and just do like for athlete of the week, do players to watch?
Right.
Because I don't want to. My instinct is like most of what I know is the boys' side, but there's also some really good girls players.
Yes.
And I don't want to discount them. It's also
Tough.
because as part of this, we're also going to do a little bit of a basketball season preview.
Yeah.
And it's interesting on the two sides because in Evergreen 1A, on the girls' side, Monty was already the dominant team, and they're returning their three best players. So I would assume Montesano is the, odds-on favorite to win the Evergreen 1A Girls League. On the boys' side, it feels completely wide open, and I don't know if there's a single team that would surprise me to win the league title, to be honest.
Seriously.
So it's going to be an interesting discussion.
Where are we thinking? Oh, sorry. I looked over at Andrew's computer and I thought I saw Clay Matthews picking his nose, but he was using smelling salts. It was a random
you
video.
Had kinship with him for a
Yeah,
second.
I thought our Norse heritage were coming together. Do something in those cold long nights. Where is that going? I don't know.
What's happening right now?
Let's see. Oh, one last second Spivey Athlete of the Week nomination. His wife's disc golf tournament win on Facebook. Oh, wait. He submitted his wife's disc golf tournament win on Facebook.
I'll go check.
But then he used a normal golf emoji, which is a green with a flag. And that's definitely not a Frisbee golf emoji. But he said it's her second win in 2 weeks.
I didn't get anything from him.
So Francis' wife on fire.
I didn't get anything from him on Facebook. So we have to, I think because the nomination didn't officially come in, we have to just kind of push it to the side. And that's not anyone's fault except Francis. He's the big loser here for not getting the nomination in officially. I can't find any messages from him. So. Bad job by him.
So if you had to toss out a couple names for players to watch.
Okay, so on the girls' side, it's a little tougher for me because outside of Monty, I haven't watched a lot of these teams play.
They've been pretty darn dominant in their league the last few years, and they're young.
We have Aberdeen too, which I also think I want to make a part of this, but also on the girls' side, I don't know much about Aberdeen.
Right.
But the three best players for Monty are Jilly Dalen.
I think I've got some old rosters from last year.
Probably somewhere.
In my car.
Jilly Dalen, Lex Stanfield, Tiander Olsen.
You don't want me to run out there and root through things.
You can
in
if
the
you
dark?
want to, but there might be demons out there.
I was gonna say
Pretty dark.
I might get got.
Mothman might come out.
There's nothing out there. That's what we have packs for.
Take packs with you.
Yeah, definitely. Or Mavis.
Yeah, Mavis might not be up to the task yet.
I'll throw her as a decoy. She's too cute.
No demon would hurt me.
Exactly.
But no, so I think Jilly Dalen is the returning league MVP of 1A Evergreen, so I think she would be kind of my leading candidate.
Yeah,
on
you
the
would
girls'
think,
side.
wouldn't you? You would think a returning MVP. No, yeah, she definitely is.
So hostile.
But Tiander Olsen's also on the team.
And I think Tiander was a freshman last year. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's so good. She could be the best player on the team this year.
That's true.
And then Lex also, it's a different skill set because she's a little more defense and spot shooting minded.
Yep.
Which is good because all these girls complement each other really nicely. But
It works out really nice.
It really does, yeah.
It's not like they have two players who do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then on the boys' side, I think if you go team by team, like Elma, you have Traden Carter, Theo Flores, returning players who we know can do stuff.
Yep.
Elma, for Hoquiam, you have Lincoln Nemi, which is the obvious kind of bucket getter, star level player, and then you have Joey Bozich, who significantly improved athleticism and also a really good spot shooter for Hoquiam. For Monty, I would kind of tend to go.
I'm sorry, there's a very weird video on Andrew's computer right now. I'm sorry, Andrew. You should be able to, surf in peace over there, but I tend to randomly look over your shoulder and see things on Twitter, and that looks like did that guy knock himself out and his body just kept crawling for some reason? What's going on there?
It looks like somebody's not letting the other guy up to me.
Yeah, but then that right there, it just looks super weird. Anyway, sorry, Justin.
No,
After dark.
So I think for Monty,
Isaac McGaffey for Elma too. Duh.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely, absolutely. Well, and I think Isaac McGaffey played a slightly smaller role last year than what he will be this year.
Yeah,
he's going to be one of their best players for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, Traden is a senior this year, and we've been watching him play since sophomore year.
Yeah.
So and Isaac's a junior. So there's those guys to keep an eye on. I think on the Monty side, I tend to go the two returners that are juniors this year, because there's basically no seniors on this team.
Yep.
Is going to be Tarek Gunter and Nathan Dowler.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got an eye on the Grubb twins.
What?
Wiffle ball champion Grubb twins. Colton is a guard, which is funny because he's 6 feet tall as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And really good. Caden's 6'3", and one of those guys who has a knack for getting rebounds.
Somebody said that he will lead the league in rebounds.
I
I
wouldn't
got
be
that from an
surprised.
inside source.
Who was it? Was it me?
No, it's an inside source.
Oh,
An insider source.
Ugh.
More inside than you.
Caden, everything I've always heard from every single person is Caden is an incredible rebounder who will not only use good positioning and his height at 6'3" to get rebounds, but also just has a knack for where the ball comes off the rim,
Right.
which is an even bigger part of rebounding. So I think I would tend to lean Tarek Gunter, Colton Grubb there.
Yeah.
But there's also Nathan, and there's also Caden. There's also Brody Williamson, I think, is going to play. Javen Painter's another one I'm really interested.
Well, that's one
to
that I hadn't
see.
heard of. I've heard of all those other kids.
Monty had so many seniors last year on
That's
their
true,
state run.
yeah.
And almost complete turnover from their varsity rotation.
Right.
But their JV team kicked butt. They
That's
they were
true.
beating everybody by 40 points almost
Right.
every game.
Yep.
So you're going to get a chance to see a lot of these kids step up and see what they can do at the varsity level.
And I would kind of expect, just because, depending on their schedule, and I haven't looked at their schedule too much, but I would expect a bit of a slower start because of that.
Yeah.
Kind of that effect of
Also
Hey-
football players aren't there yet.
oh, that's absolutely. But for that, and a lot of these kids haven't played very much varsity competition yet.
Right, yes.
And the speed level of JV and varsity are completely different, especially when you're playing a bunch of JV teams that, sadly, around our area are really freshman teams.
Right.
Because turnout levels haven't been near as high around the area as they have in Monty. So it's going to be a big, big difference. But I think they'll pick it up very, very quickly. But I think those first couple of games, football team, they're just now getting done, so they might not even be able to play in their first game. Shoot, I'm broadcasting a game this Tuesday night. I'm broadcasting Willapa Valley at Hoquiam. So if Monty's playing this Tuesday night, none of the football players are playing,
No,
right?
they had 2 games this week that got rescheduled because they wouldn't have players to do them. They're both non-leaguers.
Gotcha.
One was Aberdeen. I think the other one was Cedar Park Christian. They pushed both those games back.
That Aberdeen one hosed me.
Yeah.
I was planning on broadcasting that game.
That would have been all JV players and Grub boys.
Yeah, that would have really made my broadcasting schedule look so much better. But I had to get way more creative and throw. I'm gonna have to cover weird Saturday games around Christmas break.
Yeah.
Thanks, Montesano football.
They're opening the following Monday, the 9th, and
Yeah.
I think they still won't have football players for that game.
Probably
because
not.
they have to have 10 practices and
Yeah.
then leave.
And apparently the football players are too weak to go to basketball practice afterwards.
They were actually banned from basketball practice.
What?
Because Coach Galloway said, hey, if you're a football player, don't... I don't know if they would have anyway, but he said, if you're a football player, don't come to basketball practice.
See-
and if we make a playoff push in basketball, I would expect that you would put your spring sports on hold so you don't get hurt before basketball season is over.
Don't get hurt. See, that's
What is
here's the thing. If I was running that basketball practice, it would be football players go here and shoot free throws. There would be no them getting hurt, but
Can
they would
you do
still
that, or do they have to
Why not?
participate in the... Well,
That's
they're
part of
shooting
the
free
practice.
throws.
Yeah. That
that would be awesome. They could
That would
just
be
shoot
part of
free
the
throws
practice.
for 2 hours.
Plus, maybe they'd learn to shoot their free throws.
That's
I
what I'm
don't know the rules, but I do know that I have a son who's fighting through a toe injury, and so he's been a partial participant in practice where he gets to shoot and do like low impact drills and then ride the bike when he's not doing that, and none of those practices count. You have to be like a full participant in like what all the other players are doing for the practices to count.
What?
It's my understanding.
In
Does
what
basketball
world?
not like break up into like position groups or groups
Oh, you do.
people and do
Yeah.
different things?
Yeah, you do all the time.
Position groups?
Yeah. Guards do guard things all the time, and big guys do big guy things all the
You
time.
could be also break up by like
That's
what you do
super weird.
after
If that's a
school.
rule now,
It might just be specific.
that's
It might be
new.
only for injuries. I
and-
don't know. 'Cause
and-
that was like a injury specific thing. Maybe if you have guys who are like, hey, you're football players, we want to get your practice,
Yeah.
then you could do something different. I have no idea.
Okay, if that's a rule, new, since I played, I'm pretty sure, B, dumb. Like, why put that type of specification? If you got a kid working back from injury, why have a specification where he's at practice doing the things he can do and not have that count as a practice for trying to play in a game?
Thanks, WIAA.
Seriously, like that is a really dumb rule.
I'm
In
confused
what
about-
world does that make sense?
I understand the reasoning behind wanting players to have a certain number of practices in before they play.
Yeah.
But it seems like most of those concerns would be alleviated by the fact that the
They're-
person is participating in another full-time sport.
Exactly. Yes.
Like you're playing another varsity sport, any
Chase says
day-
you only need 7 practices now.
Oh, okay,
Any-
7. That's
I
good
don't
to know.
understand.
That's good to know, but still, what is this partial like not counting thing?
I just don't understand.
Are you
why
telling me that if I
any-
sprained my ankle halfway through practice and had to sit out for the last hour of it, that wouldn't count as a
I
practice?
think that practice would count, but the
Why?
next one wouldn't.
Why? That's the thing. Why?
I don't
I
know.
can find a loophole anywhere,
I
Justin.
also might be wrong.
I'm gonna call the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz
He
and
would
get this
help you with
figured
that
out.
because you live in a state.
Anyway, I just got fired up for no real reason there, but I guess this is because when I was on a basketball team that went to state, I went to baseball practice after. I didn't have to miss any baseball time.
It's baseball, though. How do you get hurt playing baseball?
How do you get hurt for shooting free throws? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know. You jump.
And also,
you
I
do a
could
little
get hurt
hop,
playing free- I could get hurt
non-contact
shooting
injury,
free
ACL pops.
yeah, and and I'm also saying that Coach Galloway, like, okay, say I'm the starting shortstop and I'm like the third off the bench in basketball. You want me to just not get to play my first couple of baseball games because my basketball team went to state? Sorry, I'm not going to do it. And I didn't do it. Well, I was in that exact situation and I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to go to basketball or baseball practice after basketball practice.
I actually think basketball season's long.
It
and
is
the
long.
first
Yeah.
several games are usually non-leaguers. And
That's
like I
true.
said, they rescheduled the first 2.
That's true. Yeah.
So I feel like they're probably a lot less focused on like how quickly can we get guys in,
Yeah.
and more like how can we make sure that the work is good once the guys get in.
Yeah.
And they have time.
That makes sense.
So
I'm just saying the odd kid, like, say there's a football player.
were you the odd kid?
Exactly. I was. Well, and I don't think it's too odd. Is it that odd for somebody to be really good at the next sport
I was
that's
thinking
coming?
just more like odd in general.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I just
But-
don't understand why the WIAA is disqualifying varsity athletes from participating in the next season of a different sport just because
Yeah,
they're
I don't understand
participating if you're going to a varsity practice, you shouldn't have to go to the basketball practice to be eligible. Now the basketball
as long as you're
coach-
going to a practice, right?
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. As if the basketball coach might be like, "Look, I need you to know the game." But as a senior, if you've played, you know the system, the coach knows you, you should be able to just go to football practices and show up to basketball games. It makes zero sense that you would artificially force attendance to the basketball specific things for players that are unable to attend because they're playing a sport.
That makes sense. Like, I guess I don't understand the
Maybe I'm
reason.
just being
It sounds
dumb.
just as dumb as me being forced to take PE credits in high school, even though I was swimming 5 hours a day.
That's a good
I
point.
still had to take PE credits to graduate.
Maybe I'm just being dumb here, but like, what's the actual point of having a certain amount of practices
Yeah.
before you play anyway? Like, regardless of anything.
That's a good question.
I would say
That's a good question.
I
What are
would
we doing?
I would say that you don't want guys who are not ready to be athletic to all of a sudden jump into
I've
like
watched a
athletic
lot of guys play
competition,
varsity sports that were not ready to be athletic enough to play.
even though they'd been to the
I mean, is 7 practices going to make you athletic enough
yeah,
to play?
that's a good question.
I'm curious what
it's
the, like...
gonna do something for
I'm
that.
not saying there's no basis to it. I'm wondering what the basis
Yeah,
I'll give
me
you
too.
that.
is. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just asking you if you'd like to.
I would.
WIAA.
I'm really wondering. It's fascinating. I've never thought this
It's
one
too
fully
bad
out.
that you offended Nick and he left, because maybe he would have an answer to this.
Maybe that's a good point.
Is it Daniel that offended Nick?
Probably. I offended the Royal guy.
Yeah, but he stayed. Royal's got a thick skin.
You know
That's
what?
how they get through the winters over
Nick
there.
and I are good. I'm not worried about my relationship with Nick.
Chase says he personally going back to players to watch for our Spivey Athlete of the Week.
Oh, yeah, that. Well, so tonight...
Chase says Tenino will struggle until Burkhart comes back.
Maybe
I
after.
forgot that Burkhart was hurt in football.
Burkhart's really good.
Yeah, and
But-
he's somebody they need.
Burkhart's really good. Gagne's really good. That team's going to be really different without Noah Scow. Noah Scow is a legitimate top-level 1A basketball player who's versatile, plays offense and defense, can play multiple positions.
Yeah.
He's a big guard who can play the wing and also get rebounds.
Yeah.
He transferred to Annie Wright.
Freaking Annie Wright.
So now, Tenino is going to have... I'm not saying Tenino is going to be bad. I'm saying they're going to be different. They're going to be a completely different team. And that's part... Because if Scow was around, Tenino, odds-on favorite to win the league.
Easy.
No question.
Yeah.
They're dominating. This is a big deal.
My dad's thought was it's for kids that skip practice but are really good.
Yeah.
But you
that's-
still only need 7 to start practicing. So once you get to 7 practices, then it just doesn't matter if you show up to practice.
Also, shouldn't that be a coaching thing? Like, that's the job of a head coach. Is
Exactly.
To be like, I
Like-
need to make sure that this kid is actually.
It shouldn't
engaged.
need to be legislated. Maybe we're just too much of a libertarian show here. We're tired of big government WIA sticking their
Tired
fing-
of big government in our prep sports.
sticking their fingers in
Let's
things.
down with the WIAA. We'll govern ourselves. District 4.
Royal can play Tumwater, dang it. I want to see Napa Vine take on O'Day.
I want to see Gonzaga Prep versus Okanagan.
Okay, I'm all for saying Gonzaga, but as soon as there's prep on the end of it, I really think it should be Gonzaga.
Gonzaga Prep.
Gonzaga Prep.
Prep versus Okanagan.
Okanagan. Okay, anyway.
Chase wants to make sure you guys know that now that it's basketball season, everything he says is his own thoughts. He's not talking for anybody else.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
Chase, we know that you're speaking for your father. Matt Ferrier, head coach of Elma High School Varsity Boys.
Chase, I just want to say I've never thought you were speaking for your dad.
I have.
Oh, wow.
I've assumed it, and I'm going to continue to say it.
Bombshell. Monty Guy misconstrues Elma Guy's words.
Not true. Fake news. We need to pick some athletes of the week. Okay, so we got super sidetracked. Actually, I'm glad we did because we
could nominate Leonard Williams for his 92-yard pick six.
That was pretty cool.
Dude.
That's
that
the
was
longest
pretty
ever
cool.
pick six by an over 300-pound player. It's also
Dude, is he over 3
the
bills?
longest by a defensive lineman. Yeah, he's 310 pounds.
Can we
He does
dissect
not look it, man.
why that happened?
Dude, we need to spend some time on the Seahawks game later. It was one of the grossest, weirdest games I've ever watched.
I want to
Bizarre.
spend
It was
literally
perfectly normal
12
once
minutes.
I started watching.
I want to spend literally 12 minutes talking about that play.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of thoughts.
I'm game,
Okay.
but later.
That's a tease.
Tease.
We're professional.
All right. I'm going to go Jilly Dalen. She's the returning league MVP. If she's not the player to watch in girls basketball, I don't know who is. Especially because I'm blanking on. I know Aberdeen's got some good returning players.
Okay, so
But I still think they're.
so Isaac Garcia.
Well, I was talking about girls.
Okay, sorry.
I know they have a decent overall squad, but
Yeah.
last year was their first year under Eccles. They were kind of building towards something. So I'm expecting good things from Aberdeen, but
We should probably talk to Curtis at some point.
we should
Try to figure out.
We
what
should
the
grab
hell
some
his first
coaches.
game is. Yeah, we should.
We should do some coaches chats.
Grab them.
Just snag them.
Yeah.
Just on our way out here after dark.
Yeah.
Just kidnap them.
Just a drive-by grabbing.
Yes, exactly. Stop it. All right, now for guys.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
So I think
Whoa,
it's
new name in the chat.
Who's that?
Somebody with an all caps name, Michael Noftley. Sorry, I know that I'm a few minutes behind. Only 4 practices required if you are coming out of another sport.
Well,
Another caveat.
I like that they're at least giving
Some recognition to it.
I also didn't know that.
I didn't know that
So
either.
if that's true, that's a difference, and that would mean that all Monty's football players would be eligible by the first game.
Yeah, as long as they all make it and are full
Well,
participants.
there's six practices between.
Like, what is this? The NFL? We need an injury
Participants.
report list. What are people looking at the injury report and betting on these high school games? # don't bet on high school games.
Yeah.
Like, what do we need a full participant, half participant thing going on here? Sorry, freaking out. Freaking out. Boys basketball.
So we're saying Jilly Dalen on the girls' side.
Yes.
Feels
Evangeli.
logical, even though there's a part of me inside that wants to be like Deandre Olsen.
Understandable.
But on the boys' side, Isaac Garcia, really good.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a huge important.
Massive.
So I'm blanking on the name of
What's
the
that kid?
who
I know
hits all the threes.
Yes. The kid who hits all the threes.
And we mispronounced his name for a while.
Oh, crud. What's his name? But the dude just balls.
The guy with the hair.
Yes. The guy with the hair, and
Yeah.
he wasn't even starting most of last year, and he would
Yeah.
just come in and hit threes
Yeah.
and then just look in your face and be like, yeah, I'm going to do it again. And he would.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
then-
going to bother me. We
And
need
then on
to,
the Elma side, we have Theo Flores, Traden Carter, Isaac McGaffey.
Yes.
From Hoquiam, we have the most obvious, which is Lincoln Nemi, and then Joey Bozich.
And I'm going to throw in there, I'm pretty sure Ethan
it.
Byron, and then I can't remember his first name, but Maxfield are 2 more to look at.
Yeah.
Coming
Is it
up.
Riker?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Riker Maxfield. And I think there's a Dayton. There's usually a Dayton.
There's always a Dayton, man.
Always seems to be
There's
a
always
Dayton.
a Dayton or a Dixon or
Yeah.
a Dayton,
Yeah.
They're
Or,
always there.
yeah. It's like Ryan Van Blood. And then, did we get them all? Is that?
Yeah, I think from Monty, it was like, I'm going to go Tarek Gunter
And Grubb.
and Colton Grubb.
Oh, you went
Even-
specific Grubb.
I'm going to go Colton Grubb,
Not Caden Grubb.
even though I think Caden is going to be really good this year.
Yeah.
But I also think, these guys are so
According to
young.
my inside source, he's going to lead the league in rebounds.
Who's the source?
T-Stat.
What?
Yeah. I've got an inside source.
I'm changing it. Colton to Caden,
Oh, snap.
based on the source.
Based on that source. Okay. Now Francis Higgins is mentioning me
I think if it were
in a
me,
disc golf video.
if it were me, Daniel, right now, I would go Jilly Dalen, Lincoln Nemi.
My guy. I'm here for it.
Because here's the thing.
Here's the
And
thing.
I do really need to go to the bathroom. So I want the segment to end, but at the same time I'm like if I'm intrigued by what's going to happen with one player in the Evergreen 1A league this year across all 5 teams,
Yeah.
it's Lincoln.
Yeah.
Because Lincoln started so hot. He had some real hot and cold stretches. He scored a ton of points.
Yep.
And then when my son guarded him last
relation.
year, no relation, locked him down because he had some things to learn. Like he had to learn when I face a guy or a team who goes into the game being like, I'm going to be in that dude's hip pocket.
Yep.
I'm going to not fall for any fakes.
Yep.
And I'm going to take the ball away when it's presented to me. Lincoln has so many great capabilities.
Yeah.
He has so...
Thank you, Jacob Quezada.
Quezada.
Thank you, William.
Who said that?
William McGaffey.
Oh, William, you are a lifesaver. Jacob Quezada. That guy gets buckets.
Does.
And also, I watched Aberdeen boys basketball play in the summer. I'm super curious to see how they're going to compete in that league.
Yeah.
They looked awesome.
Yeah.
They kicked the living crap out of Montesano's team. Montesano's summer league team. So summer league teams are always a little different. You never know who's going to play, who's going to not.
Right.
But the Aberdeen summer league team at the league that they hosted looked so good.
Yeah.
When I watched them, Quezada, a huge part of that.
Yep.
Isaac Garcia, also a huge part of that.
My only hesitation with the Lincoln Nemi one, because you're right, things to learn, and also Peyton wasn't just a lockdown defender, but he might have been like the worst possible matchup type of locked up defender.
Absolutely worst possible matchup.
For Lincoln.
Yes.
Like it. Yes.
It was I'm as quick as you, but I'm also not going to fall for your
and
stuff
I'm like
thing.
10 times stronger than you and like 3 years older than you.
That's
and,
it. It's like I was
and
like,
also the perfect analytical mind who like watched 9 hours of film and was like, oh, as long as I don't move, I'm going to be fine.
I talked to Peyton and I was like, do you ever feel bad that like you were a senior just like picking on a freshman?
Yeah.
And he was like, no.
Just Ivan Drago. Just Drago. If he dies, he dies.
I don't know what that means, but you can get the ring to Mordor. It's fine. What's Drago?
Dude, that was a Rocky 4 reference,
I've
my
never
God.
watched
Or
a
Rocky
Rocky
3.
movie. I've watched 0 Rocky movies. What's Drago?
It's the dude who looks like Brock Heward.
Okay.
The big Russian guy.
So he looks like a massive goon.
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Another sidetrack. Anyway, as much as I want to say Lincoln Nemi, because Peyton Domashevitz has graduated, what about Traden Carter? Are we not giving him enough credit?
That's a really good point because Traden, like I said earlier, we've been watching Traden since he was a sophomore.
Yeah.
I think in my mind, because Traden was really injured last basketball season and he was playing through an injury. Mm-hmm. So, and then also he was playing with Kaysen Seberg.
Right.
And Kaysen,
So
awesome.
Good. Yeah. So
like
good.
really great offensive player who also would be a lockdown defender when he decided when he was told
when the matchup
you
was
need
his
to go lock up that guy.
Yeah.
Like he did with DeLon Chan.
That matchup was so good.
It was so good.
Oh my gosh.
But he did it. So I think
can't wait for basketball season to start.
I'm
I
glad
love
you brought
this.
up Traden. I'm glad you brought up Traden because Traden is what I love, which is a big-bodied guard.
Yes, you do love that.
I love a big-bodied guard who is versatile
Yeah.
and can distribute.
Yes.
Like he doesn't need to be the guy who shoots 23s a game.
Yep.
He's gonna go out and
He
do
might
whatever.
have to this year.
He needs to do every little thing that his team needs,
Yep.
and then on offense, he's gonna make stuff happen for other people. So, I think having said all of that, like we're going like the definition of quote unquote players to watch.
Okay.
I think I would probably go Jilly Dalen, Lincoln Nemi.
Okay.
But I love the fact that you brought up Traden, and I would respect that if that was a choice.
Okay. Well, I'm a Hookweem guy. Sorry, Traden. It's Lincoln Nemi.
Also, Isaac McGaffey.
Yeah.
Shout out Isaac McGaffey.
Yeah, we
because-
brought up a bunch of dudes, and I think I'm so excited. I love basketball season. I love Hookweem Square Garden. We're gonna have to learn some more about that.
Yeah.
But I'm so
Please
excited
save
to.
Hoquiam Square Garden.
I'm so excited to tip off the year in Hookweem Square Garden with the. I've got a couple of. By the way,
the Willapa Valley Hoquiam games are usually like 75 to 79.
they're awesome.
They're
awesome.
awesome.
There's like a bunch of flukes and stuff, and it's crazy. And not like flukes, like weird things happening, but
And
like
people
flukes
with Ryan Van Blood,
Yeah,
like true Ryan Van Blood.
exactly.
Is it inside them or just
It
dripping?
spills out onto the court too.
Sometimes it's on the
because
court.
that's the way they play.
Yes. Okay, so our players to watch / Spivey athletes of the week this week are Jilly Dalen and Lincoln Nemi. Oh, I can't wait for basketball to start. We are now going to move into a commercial break. When we come back, we are actually, you know what, Andrew, what do you think? Should I list out my current broadcast schedule? What do you think about that?
Yeah, go ahead. That's
Okay.
Local sports.
Yeah, so I thought that might be a good thing to pop out there before we move into regional.
And lose all of our listeners.
Yes,
Okay.
so our 1490 KWOK broadcast schedule for basketball right now.
Relation.
No relation. Right now, it looks like this. Now, every now and then we flex some things, move some things around. But right now, Willapa Valley is going to play at Hoquiam on Tuesday. We'll be there as long as I can find somebody to cover for me because I've got a work thing on
these
Friday.
all at 7? Or...
You know what? Time. Most of them are at 7.
Okay.
There are some weird ones, and I didn't write them down.
Okay.
Sorry. On Friday the 13th, shout out Friday the 13th. I won't be there, but hopefully I can find somebody to cover the Aberdeen at Hoquiam boys game. Then North Beach at Elma girls, another interesting like Grace Harbor but cross league matchup there. Then on Saturday, weird Saturday game, Saturday the 28th, I will be stepping away from whatever my family is doing that day and covering Raymond South Bend at Hoquiam girls. Another Pacific County, Grace Harbor County matchup there.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Then on another weird... Are there demons outside?
Probably.
Or Smudge just has to go to the bathroom.
That could be. 2 Saturday games in a row, Justin, because on Saturday the 4th, I will also be stepping away from whatever family is
January
doing.
4th?
January 4th.
I could probably be there.
Montesano at Aberdeen girls.
I love that.
Isn't that an
I
interesting
think I'm going to
matchup?
do that game with you if you're good with it.
Dude, any game, please, my guy. And if you know, you're definitely working Friday night the 13th, so you probably wouldn't get to that one.
Probably not.
Then Thursday night, January 9th, Rochester at Montesano girls. Ooh. The unknown league team against Montesano girls. Then
It's Rochester, though. So.
Monday, January 13th, true. Aberdeen at Hoquiam girls, Myrtle Street rivalry game. Then the next week, boys matchup, Hoquiam at Aberdeen boys on Monday the 20th. Then week 9, we got on Friday the 31st, Montesano at Aberdeen boys, a rematch of that summer league game you were talking about, Justin. And then to wrap up the regular season, this could be an extremely important game, Justin. East County Civil War, Montesano at Elma boys. Tuesday, February 4th. There could be a playoff game on the line. There could be a league title on the line. There could be nothing on the line. No, there's going to be something on the line. That is going to be a heck of a matchup. So that is the 1490 KWOK broadcast schedule, subject to change if needed. And
like football season where you did like a third of the games you said you were going to do.
Ian was wheeling and dealing with the football schedule. It was crazy. Anyway, now that that's out there, we're going to take a commercial break and get into some random Seahawks stuff because, boy, what a game.
Yeah.
Spivey Realty Group's goal is to make buying, selling, investing, and renting real estate in Grace Harbor simple. They believe in 100% transparency and unparalleled communication with local expertise, tech-enhanced, and top-notch service for their friends, neighbors, and community. Their goal is simple: get a group of strong-willed, hard-working people together who want to make a difference in Grace Harbor and to use real estate as the means of achieving that. Voted Grace Harbor's best real estate company. Find them on Facebook or visit graceharborrealestate.com. Spivey Realty Group, elevating small town real estate.
Thank you again to our sponsors and to the little puppy who's licking my ankles. You make the scrimmage possible. Spivey Realty Group and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. Andrew was laughing hysterically at some comments, and I didn't see him. Andrew, do you want to read which ones we're getting you? Like, there's something going on there.
I probably shouldn't.
Okay.
But I will anyway.
Okay.
When you were talking about Clay Matthews and your shared
Nose picking?
ancestry, he pointed out that you have more in common with Jelly Roll than Clay Matthews.
What? Am I missing a jelly roll joke here?
I don't know.
Is it political?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either of those guys'
That just
political
made me
views.
laugh.
I'm just assuming that one of them is known for picking boogers or something.
Which one?
By the way, speaking of boogers, which is hilarious now that this whole Francis, gosh dang it, this couldn't have come at a worse time. But I have realized what I am as a fan, Andrew.
Uh-oh.
I'm a booger. I'm a beaver and a cougar. I'm a booger fan.
Oh, dear.
I mean, I could be a Kiever, but I'm pretty sure we all know I'm a booger.
Yeah.
So
That sounds right.
let's get this third period of our hockey show going with the 2-minute ice drill.
Petting a puppy.
Oh, no.
Let's go, hurry up! Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball to the ref. Gonna do it right. 3-jet Buckeye, don't worry.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
Our viewership just went up like 1,000,000% with that puppy being on the screen. People don't even know why it popped up in their algorithm. They just see a weird dude holding a puppy and some other guys with microphones. Yes. The Seattle Seahawks have won 3 games in a row to improve to 7-5 and in sole possession of first place in the NFC West. Justin, are they good?
I maintain the position that I had early in the year, which is, yeah, they're fine. They're probably going to have a pretty good shot to make a playoff, and maybe they'll win a game, but they're not going to be good enough to, like, do any real damage in the playoffs. I still think it's worth it. Like, you're a decent / good team who can go put the fear in any team. I like where they are, and I think they're good. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think they're good. Daniel. The Boise State Ashton Genties beat your Oregon State Beavers 34-18 on Friday at Genty.
What? No
Genty
way.
leads the nation with 2,288 rushing yards and 28 touchdowns after running for 226 yards in the score against the real OSU, the original OSU. Daniel, how is it possible that he is not the betting favorite for the Heisman Trophy?
It's ridiculous. Not only does he lead the nation with 2,288 rushing yards, but going into this week, you know who the second leading rusher in the nation was?
Ashton Genty after contact.
Yes, it was. Absolutely insane. He had over 1,500 yards after contact.
Shout
Just
out
ridiculous.
Omari and Hampton, the actual second leading rusher
It's worth
in the
pointing
nation.
out
Go
that
Heels.
he's
Oh my
played
gosh.
multiple half games.
Yeah, just insane.
Yeah, good point.
Get out of here, Travis Hunter. You're not Shohei Ohtani. You're just someone doing what normal football players should do, and that's playing both ways. Justin, your North Carolina Tar Heels men's basketball team lost 2 games. What? 2 games in a row to drop to 4-3 on the
Trash.
season? What happened?
College basketball is stupid, and I don't want to watch it anymore. Daniel, your Washington State Cougars wrapped up their regular season with a 15-14 loss to 3-9 Wyoming. What happened? Andrew buzzed me.
We don't want to talk about that. It's too
Wait.
depressing.
What?
Did you not know that happened?
Did you not know that happened?
Andrew, what happened? What happened?
We cooped.
You
the
know
whole
what happened?
season.
I still blame Jake Dickert. The whole "we're not friends with Oregon State's" comments screwed the whole season.
That might have.
Jake, my guy, it's on you. Jake Dickert. I don't think you should be fired, but be better, my man. Be better. Justin,
Yeah.
what happened to your team?
They're small, and they played against a couple of teams that are big, and they struggled to deal with it.
I bet Chase is in the comments wanting to talk about Duke and how they're going to kick the
Does he
crap
wanna
out of you
talk
guys.
about how there's
No
a guy on their
one
team
ever.
named Knipple?
I know there's a guy on their team named Cooper Flagg.
Don't
who's-
talk about Cooper.
Yeah,
Flag.
that's what I
want to
thought.
talk about Com Knipple because his name's Knipple.
Chase says in the comments, Francis said Chase should now be referred to as the voice for all farriers, which not only the people with the last name Farrier, but also
Lulu
everyone
Donald
in the
Farrier.
profession of ferrying. Chase then says he can do his best Bill Belichick impression and give Coach to the media responses to everything, but they wouldn't be very fun. That's true. Yeah. Coach interviews. Coach
Do you
speak.
need me for any of this? 'Cause
Coach
I'm
speak.
petting a puppy.
I noticed you were petting a puppy. That's why I just was like going with random stuff.
The
there.
puppy was behaving nicely in her bed, chewing on a toy, and I stole her away.
Gosh dang it, Justin! You are so bad for puppy behavior. Oh, now you're sticking your butt at me. What the heck's going on?
You liked it.
I doubtful. Honestly, doubtful. Oh man, I feel like I need to apologize to our 12 viewers still here, which I'm kind of shocked, by the way. Do we want to talk about the Seahawks
They
in
were
that
here to
one
see me.
play?
Tell us about that first.
Yeah, Justin.
I wasn't watching
Do you
for
want-
the first half of the game, and
Oh,
apparently it was insane.
Bonkers. Do you want me to talk about the overall bonkersness of this
I want
game?
you to talk about the overall bonkers. and
Okay.
I'd like us to all discuss the Leonard Williams touchdown.
So I'm watching this game, right?
All-time great play.
And I'm gonna bring up the box score just so I can be
You are
a little
box score guy.
just to be a little bit better on my timeline
Gino was okay.
of how this happened. So the Jets score a touchdown, right, in the first quarter.
Yeah.
They then have their extra point blocked. You're like, okay, that happens every now and then. Then the Seahawks decide, you know what's a good idea? Let's fumble a kickoff because the Seahawks have been absolutely trash on special teams all year, and they have a fumbling problem, which is not what you want your kick returners to have. And yet D. Williams is like, yeah, this ball, don't really like it. I'm going to drop it on the ground. So then, given like a 20-yard field, the Jets score a touchdown. They get their 2-point conversion. They're up 14-0. Then later in the second quarter, all bat crap crazy just breaks loose. As the Seahawks score a touchdown, that's fairly normal. They get the extra point, that's fairly normal. But then they kick it off and give up a touchdown return for a touchdown, or a kickoff return for a touchdown, which never happens anymore. Then on the Jets' ensuing kickoff, they fumble it again. The other kick returner, Chenault, decides, yeah, this ball, not my cup of tea. Here, you can have it, other team's kicker. What? Then you're like, all right, well, this game's going to get blown open if New York does this again. But then what happens? Not only an interception, no, but an interception to a 300-pound man who then takes it all the way to the house for a pick six.
92 yards.
What?
Yeah.
92 yards. And then you know what happens after that? Missed extra point. Then it gets even more crazy because later in the game, the Seahawks have not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, but 8 chances from the 3-yard line and in on the goal line to score, and they don't get any points. They had first and goal from the 3-yard line, and they had 8 plays to score, and they don't. Then, to end the game, the Seahawks game-winning drive ended like 5 times. But every time there was a penalty on the Jets that extended the drive,
so
and they ended
Jets.
up running.
It's
Dude,
so Jets.
if I was a Jets fan, I would have broken my TV by the third one.
I don't think they do anymore because
They don't have TVs anymore. They
They're
broke
just-
them all.
They
They're
broke 'em
just
all.
sitting there dejectedly with their paper bags over their heads.
It's just the most
So
Jetsy
weird.
thing in the world. Like, you just lose. You lose no matter what. Even if you win, you lose.
Absolutely.
It's so Jetsy.
Dave Beeler says go Oregon. I feel like that's coming from his track background, and I don't like it whatsoever. And Daniel says we're here. So apparently our 12 listeners are still here, and I still don't understand why.
Is Daniel you? Because your name is Daniel.
Daniel's my brother, no relation.
Daniel Gross, no relation.
All right. Anyway, do you want to talk for 12 minutes now about the Leonard Williams pick six,
Did
which
I
was
say that
nuts?
earlier? That I
You
was-
did, you
Okay,
did
so
say you wanted to talk about it.
I think this play for me is a big part of the reason why I feel optimistic about what the Seahawks can do. Because I'm not gonna. Is Mavis here?
Yeah, there was a puppy
Oh,
down
I'm
by my
gonna
legs.
not get distracted.
Yep.
I don't think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they have a decent shot to win a playoff game. And to me, this play is indicative of why. If you watch this play, Leonard Williams gets it. 4 guys run with him.
Yeah.
Dude,
3.
anybody else wonder where like any of the Jets wide receivers were?
Well,
this is what I'm driving towards.
One of
Okay.
them took like, you know, when the like receivers do this a bunch where they try to tackle but they're just like diving with their shoulders forward. That one of them does that against him right when he picks it off.
3 Jets players, and you could go watch this
guy.
replay.
He's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah. That's
I
the only one.
tried. I did my best.
When you get down the field like 20 yards,
Yeah.
there's 3 Jets players in the frame,
And they're all linemen.
All linemen.
There's no DK Metcalf trying to like track it down.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. Did I just steal your thunder?
I want you to.
so-
because
I'm
no,
sorry.
this is part of. It's all conversation. It's all give and take. So I want you
Okay.
to jump in.
Okay, good.
So, to me, I watch like these are linebackers and DBs running with Leonard Williams.
Yeah.
So, had DK Metcalf chased down Budda Baker on this play,
Yeah.
Wouldn't have
no
worked
shot.
out.
Yeah, that's
wouldn't
true.
have mattered.
That's
He
a
had
good point.
4 blockers. He had 4 guys who ran out in front of him to clear space.
I would've
so
got him.
if any, Daniel Hargrove would have gotten him because he would have been like he would have turned sideways and slipped
Oh,
like
never
a
mind.
snake.
You didn't get
Never
me.
mind. Spoon was out there. Oh, Andrew, shut up. Andrew just brought up the one time where I was actually in this situation and I did not get him. So
Daniel, there's
case
6
closed.
there
You're
are-
right.
When he runs 92 yards for a touchdown,
Yeah.
there's 6 Seahawks players in the frame.
It's so awesome. Look
More
at this.
than half the defense
Yeah.
ran like, well, I mean, they're DBs, so they don't sprint with a lineman, but
They're jogging.
They're
jogging
running.
along.
more than half of the defense
Yeah.
Yeah.
ran with him
That's awesome.
to go score a touchdown.
Yeah, I love
On the
it.
Jets side, your culture is crap. Your culture sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 of your
Weird.
offensive linemen went and tried to get him. You don't have a DK Metcalf who tried to chase
Devontae
down
Williams,
Budda
I don't
Baker.
think took 2 steps. I think he started just walking straight to the other team's sideline.
Gave up.
Yep.
This play, I watched this play. Full disclosure, didn't watch very much of the Seahawks game at all today.
Right.
I watched this play, and I thought, this team has a chance to do something. I've
Yep.
been saying all year, like I know there was injuries, the run defense has struggled. I've been saying all year, this team defensively has a chance to do something special. And I think those guys proved it on that play. The only guy who scored a touchdown was Leonard Williams. Half the team was there with him to celebrate when
Yep.
he ran 92 yards.
Yep. And not all of them were DBs, by the way. Watching that replay over and over
I said
again.
a linebacker.
A linebacker and a defensive lineman.
Which one?
So Ernest Jones, who wears 13, is their starting middle linebacker.
still weird to me.
But yes, but also Draymond Jones, who is a defensive end / nose tackle, number 55, is down there with him too. So yes, I'm with you 100%, my guy. Like, this play was awesome.
You know, a fun thing that I learned in the aftermath of this play is that Leonard Williams was too big to play football until he was in high school. He played rugby before he was in high school.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, he
Dude.
said that he was looking to offload it after the 50.
Yes. Yes.
We're watching this replay. There's 5 gosh darn Seahawks in the play.
Yeah.
Lead blocking for him
Yep.
while 3 linemen are trying to chase him down, and
Yep.
they just run interference.
Yeah. It's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
Because one of the linemen looks like he's got a angle on him, but he can't get to him because there's Job, right? And
Yes.
yeah, there's just
He
Ernest
just
Jones.
stopped
Yeah.
in front of him.
Yeah.
This is a Pete Carroll level of buy-in.
Ooh.
On the defense.
This is like on the defensive side of the
Yeah.
ball. Like, these are guys who are enthusiastic to play the game. They're part of the team. They've been player empowered.
Yep.
They're ready to go out and do whatever they need for the team to win.
Love it.
I watched this one replay.
Yep.
I was so encouraged. I was like, Seahawks are winning a playoff game.
Offense be darned.
Offense be darned. Geno sucks. DK Metcalf got injured. Tyler Lockett's over the hill. I don't care.
DK
Kenneth
finished the
Walker's
game.
great,
Yes.
but you'll never know.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Daniel says it's New York. Their TVs got stolen.
He's probably right. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
All right. I think it's time for your favorite part of the show.
Okay.
I loved that breakdown, by the way.
Serving questions up on a silver platter where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump Daniel. Wow, it's 7:43.
Dude.
I've been having such a good time. I didn't even notice. I love you guys.
The scrimmage after dark.
Dark.
Daniel, I think you should be able to tell me who the NFL leaders are in the most major of stats.
Oh, no. This sounds like a terrible idea. Terrible, I tell
Sounds like
you.
a great idea.
You think he should?
Daniel, as of right now, knowing that Sunday night games are not going to be in consideration, and to be honest, I have better things going on in my life, so I don't know what's happening in the Sunday night game right now.
Like the scrimmage. After dark.
Who
We need an
is
after
the
dark sounder.
NFL leader?
After dark.
I think we have one now. After dark.
After dark.
After dark.
After dark.
Nailed it. Hannah wants us to leave so bad.
100%.
Daniel, 3 questions. All 3
Trace.
right? Beef zone.
Beef zone.
2 right?
Booger zone.
Coog zone. 1
He
right?
has a point. The booger zone should be between the beaver zone and the cougar zone.
Nope, it's the 3rd zone. Beef zone, Coog zone, Boog zone.
Boog zone.
Duck zone after that. Boog zone is replacing Husky zone.
Okay. I'm
well,
happy about that. That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
Daniel, who is the current NFL leader in passing yardage?
Passing yardage?
Passing-
That ridiculous stat that means nothing and Geno Smith is usually really good at?
The person who is in the NFL lead for passing yardage has 27 passing touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
Okay, so actually it's really
It's
good.
actually a very good player. This person also has
This-
a 67% completion percentage.
I want to say that I heard this guy was doing really good passing this year, even though that's not usually his strongest suit, especially taking care of the football. But I think, is it Jared Allen? Josh Allen? Is it Josh Allen?
Nice save.
Shut up.
Boy, that was a terrible guess.
Oh,
Josh Allen is 15th on this list
yikes.
with 2,548 yards.
Wow,
Dave
terrible.
Beeler
When-
says Josh Allen caught a pass for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, and passed for a touchdown tonight. The first person ever to do that.
I've done
Go
that.
Bills.
I've done that.
Yeah, and Justin also threw an interception for a touchdown in the same game.
Wow.
Try topping that one.
Yeah.
Fake news. That's fake news. You might as well work for MSNBC.
Remember that time when you did a spin move and the guy just took the ball away from you and ran for a touchdown? Sorry, I literally haven't thought about that in like 10 years and it just flashed before my eyes.
That's why you keep the ball low. When
When he spin. That was the weirdest flag football play of all time. And we've seen some doozies.
I wanted to argue it, and I just couldn't.
Yep.
I was like, wait, there's no such thing as fumbles in this league. But, oh, the ball didn't touch the ground.
Nope.
He just literally poked it out of my hands and then caught
Yeah.
it on the other side.
Yep.
So that probably counts as an interception.
Except for he was 20 yards down the field running with the ball.
Also, we played with that guy in a super draft tournament. That was
Was that?
Phillips.
That was. Oh, dude.
Was it Brent or Trent?
Brent Phillips. Legend.
Suck it, Brent Phillips.
Never showed up for our team after being dominant. And yet I drafted him every year for like 5 years. Never showed up.
That was so good.
Left us hanging every year.
Daniel, since you had a terrible guess, would
He's
you like to
probably
know what
like,
the
yeah,
correct...
this weird guy kept drafting me. It kind of ruined super drafts.
Hey,
We made it to the title game.
yeah. My players love me.
Also, by the way, when we had Brent and I was the quarterback, when we made it to the title game, I tried to throw him the game-winning championship touchdown, and he didn't catch it.
That's true.
Also, it got knocked down by a defensive player, but that's not the point.
Maybe that's why he decided not to play. He was too embarrassed.
And also, Jimmy, your brother, told me I should have thrown it to him.
Why is Mitch Trubisky in the game for the Bills right now? What is going on? Dave
Bills
Beeler.
are up 35-10.
They have come to their senses.
They
know that they need a Tar Heel quarterback.
McCaffrey hurt himself pretty bad.
McCaffrey?
Wait, McCaffrey got hurt? No, that never happened.
No, that's
It's-
bad for my fantasy team.
It's
No,
possible
no.
his calf is messed up.
Like career ending? Hold on, let me check my fantasy
I haven't.
score.
Nobody's said
It's
career
possible
ending.
his calf
but
was left on the
definitely
field.
Season ending.
Yikes.
And
yeah,
I saw
there's
a
an O
slow-mo.
next to his name.
I saw a slow mo of him going down, and it looks like you can see his calf like ripple.
Ugh. Which usually means Achilles.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
That is gross.
I only watched it once, and I was like, nah, I don't want to watch
Don't
that
like
again.
that. Daniel online says, I remember sacking the quarterback by sliding between the blocker's legs. Then later I caught a touchdown, tipped pass again, sliding underneath. And the peak of my flag football career. Oh, that was the peak of his flag football career.
It was a peak.
That was
It
sorry.
a heck of a peak.
Yes.
I think that quarterback has literally never ever been able to tell the difference between the two of us, Daniel.
And constantly brings it up.
and constantly brings
It was Dave.
up.
Man, you were such a pest. Man, I hate you.
I'm joking. I think it literally took a good 7 or 8 years before he realized that I was Daniel's older brother.
No
and
relation.
then he still brought it up constantly, but
Yeah.
you'd be like, your brother was such a pest.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, that I forgot about the sliding between somebody's leg. That was also
Yeah, Daniel was
one of the
pass
wildest.
rushing, diving between the center's legs.
Also one of the wildest flag football plays. Who's the leading in passing yards, Justin?
Christian McCaffrey's injury
Yeah,
virtually guarantees I will lose this week.
Ah,
2,
me?
Josiah.
well,
And you know what?
I'm
Good.
fine with
I
it.
took my one remaining player and I put him on the bench.
My guy.
Because I'm not going to win. I don't want to.
Love it.
Deserve it.
Yep.
Anyway, the leading passer in the league, which feels like it has all the steam taken out of it now, is Lamar Jackson.
What?
With 3,053
I
yards.
thought he was a running
So
back.
everything that I was saying sounded like it was going to be the right answer until I said the name.
27 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Dude, when did he learn not to throw interceptions?
Why does he keep losing?
How do
They've
they keep
lost like
losing?
5 games this season.
So weird.
Also, number 2 leading passer in yardage,
Yeah,
Geno Smith.
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
3,035 yards.
Why does he keep losing? Almost
Dude.
like passing yards doesn't mean anything.
Can I help you? Can I help you with your feelings?
Something that Andrew said all the time back when people got passing yards against us. He was like, passing yards doesn't mean anything. And all of a sudden, Geno Smith gets passing yards, and Andrew's like, oh, passing yards.
This is going to help, and actually, I would like to immediately open the floor to Andrew after I say this.
Okay.
We said Lamar Jackson with his passing yardage, 27 TDs, 3 picks.
Yeah.
Geno, 12 TDs, 12 picks.
It has been a lot.
Andrew, go.
Yeah. Look, for whatever reason, I don't know stats here, but if there are going to be some fascinating stats about how often the Seahawks get within 5 yards of, not even the red zone, within 5 yards of the goal line and can't get in.
It's crazy.
He has a
Yes.
crap ton of yards and only 12 touchdowns because he has got, and the team has got inside the 5 or 10 yard line and not scored repeatedly.
Yes.
Like many times this
Like
year.
Pete Carroll level of like getting inside the red zone and not scoring.
Is it a
I don't-
Seattle
I
problem?
don't think that's a
Field goals.
I don't know.
He kicked a crap ton of field
He
goals.
did kick a crap ton of field goals.
It was his strategy.
I feel like
Kick
a lot
field
of them were
goals,
from
bend and don't break on defense.
25, 30 yards out, not
Win in the
from
fourth
the
quarter.
5 yard line.
This was the
All right.
Seahawkiest win of all time.
It was
What happened?
so Seahawky.
And
Daniel,
I
yes.
do want to reiterate, I never said that
I know. Sorry.
Gino was great. Just that I don't think he's the problem. I still think that O-line is the problem.
And
Bring on Sam Howell.
I want it so bad.
Also Drew
I'm
Lock.
just so curious. I'm Sam curious. I think Andrew just said something we're going to have to take out and post.
It's okay. He's the producer. He has to do it. You were Sam curious. It's so bad. I thought I was the loose cannon.
I need a nap.
Really, Justin? You thought you were the loose cannon?
I did.
I
Am
need a
wrong?
nap. Dude, today he's been... I was going to say you've been really loose.
I have been so loose. Like, totally loose butthole.
Justin! Oh...
Watch Workaholics if you don't understand that
Yeah,
reference.
it is a reference at least. It wasn't just
Also,
being completely
hey,
insane.
It's almost 8 o'clock.
I hope my
This
dad's
is
not
Scrimmage
watching
After
anymore.
Dark. It's your dad's in bed. It's
hope
almost
so.
8 o'clock.
I hope he's in bed.
This is Scrimmage After
I'm gonna
Dark.
get a lecture.
Daniel, who's the NFL leader in rushing yardage? There's two guys at
Ashton
the top.
Genty.
There's two guys at the top, and if you don't guess one of them, I'm sorry, but you're dumb.
Oh, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry is second, so you're not dumb.
Saquon Barkley.
That's
That's what I said.
That's correct.
That's
but
what I said.
You're wrong because
No, I'm pulling a
you
Richard
didn't
Sherman.
guess it first.
Pulling a Richard Sherman. How do you know I said that? Was it recorded? I don't care.
Crabtree's
That's
is-
just voices. You
Okay.
don't have you can't. You don't know if
Daniel?
that was me.
Yeah,
You're 1 for 2. Good job.
kind of. No, I'm 0 for 2, but
no.
you said I wasn't an idiot on that one.
Well, you got Saquon Barkley. So
Oh, right. I'm 1 for 2.
yeah, we were 1 for 2.
I'm in the boog zone.
Daniel, you are in the I picked my boog and ate it zone. Who is the NFL leader in receiving yardage?
Daniel Gross says Scrimmage After Dark is great.
I wish Daniel was here.
Hey,
Dude.
we have a fan.
Dude, Daniel,
He'd be so good at this. Actually, I think
when
if
Daniel
he-
comes to visit next, we need to have him on the pod.
yes, we need an extra microphone
Yes.
and an extra headset,
Yeah.
and give him like carte
Snacks.
blanche. To
Carte blanche.
You know, we could
Snacks
just put
and
him,
carte blanche.
We could just put him in the other room and have him zoom in. That might work better.
If he were here, would we have to go like straight up PG-13 rating, or would we be okay?
I think we'd be
Like
That would
we're
be okay.
really borderline right now. Like you,
We
have
are
said some really
teetering.
offensive stuff.
We are teetering
because of
on
you.
the edge. On me, it was Andrew.
Yeah, and Andrew.
Both.
You and Andrew, not me though.
Yeah, of course. Shut up.
Daniel, who is
Receiving yards.
I really want you to get this wrong. Because
there's-
if you get it wrong, you're in the boog zone.
There's my guy. There is 0.0001% chance I get this right.
It's so wrong because the answer's so obvious.
What? I haven't been watching crap. Which is a good thing, because that is a really weird thing
You
to
want me
watch.
to name some receivers?
No, wait.
Name receivers.
Wait,
Brock
wait,
Bowers,
wait,
CeeDee
wait.
Lamb,
No.
Terry McLaurin,
Shut up.
Amon-Ra St. Brown,
You're just
Amon-Ra
Zay
St. Brown
Flowers.
is an all-time name.
George Pickens,
Amon-Ra
Jackson Smith
St.
and
Brown
Jigba,
is like somebody was watching The Mummy and was like, that's a cool name.
Cortland Sutton,
Demons.
Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown,
It-
Jajettas, Justin Jefferson.
that's who I'm going with, Justin Jefferson.
You are
I was
wrong.
trying to.
He's
oh,
number 2.
dang it.
The correct answer, obviously, is Jamar Chase.
He's on my fantasy team. He's on 2 of my fantasy teams.
Well, Daniel, by no intent of mine,
I'm an idiot.
you are in the boog zone.
I got booged.
You basically picked a boog, ate it
What?
on screen.
Oh, I did not do that.
You're in the booger eater zone.
The booger eater zone?
Francis loves it. It's his favorite zone. He eats boogers all the time.
Dude. Also, one of my fantasy teams that has Chase on it is just getting absolute. That's not even a word. They're getting gazeboed
They
right
get
now.
gazeboed.
They're getting absolutely recycle binned.
Gazebo?
Gazeboed.
Who is it?
It was in the weird league that I'm in. I need to stop playing because 3 fantasy football leagues is just far too many.
That is too many.
I'm losing in all of my leagues.
I really want to.
And I have a 1% and a 0% chance in my
I
other
want to
2
start
leagues.
like 5 new leagues next year, so we
Why?
can do like guillotine.
Oh
and then
shoot!
the
My
one
dad
that
said
plays against the median.
he's still waiting.
For what?
So he's still watching, I think is what he means. And then he put a pukey face. I'm gonna get lectured, Justin. I blame you.
What did I do?
I don't know, but I blame you.
Is it because I said cho?
No,
earlier?
no, you said way worse things.
What? What did I say? It was the 2 of you that were causing all the trouble.
I will tell you after the show because it is too bad to repeat.
Really?
Yeah, it was the workaholics reference.
Oh. That was pretty good. It's your fault that I watched that show. I never watched that show until you recommended it to me.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure I've only watched like 1 full episode.
I might have made that up.
Yeah. Shocker. So I'm in the booger zone
Yeah.
because I'm a
Congratulations.
Beaver fan and a
Predictably.
Cougar
2 weeks
fan.
in a row you're in the booger.
I'm a Beaver Cougar fan.
Yeah.
So I'm
Booger.
a Booger fan.
Booger fan.
Yeah.
And last week you were in the booger zone because Francis caught you eating your boogers.
I did not eat fake news. Did not eat my boogers. I like that we're using the Andrew pronunciation, by the way.
Like raccoons.
Well, there's no such thing as a booger. It's a booger.
Booger.
It's like a Rasmussen situation.
Wait, Andrew says booger?
Andrew is all about the booger.
I say booger.
You say booger?
Yeah. What do you say?
Booger.
That's wrong.
Like Booger McFarland.
Booger McFarland. Andrew?
Booger.
It's yeah, I'm here for it. I'm changing the way I say it, but it's not a raccoon situation because nobody says that.
I do.
And it's wrong. But people should say booger.
Booger, raccoon, Disley.
That's going to do it for our show today. I'm going to get grounded by my father. Thank you. You didn't even know he still had the ability to do that, but he does.
Hi, Dad.
And he's going to ground me, and he'll try to ground you.
Next week, Daniel and Justin will be joining us via Zoom. Ayla COVID.
You know what?
Because we're grounded.
Did he just say Ayla?
Ayla instead of Allah.
Allah.
Dude,
Yeah,
why is
you're
it?
right. Allah.
Okay.
I think it's normally Allah.
Is this a booger situation?
I think
Yeah.
it,
A raccoon?
yeah, I think it's a raccoon.
You know what?
booger.
If your dad
Also-
tries to ground me,
Yeah.
I'll respect it.
Okay. Daniel says I would 100% let my intrusive thoughts flow and be a color commentator. Yeah, I don't think we'd be able to have him on the show, guys.
PG-13 for sure.
You see,
like right off
the
the bat.
team that scores the most points usually wins the game.
Gonna throw this. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna throw out there. Oh, dude, some of these highlights are lowlights out there on this game. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our show today.
So bummed
So
about Christian
for
McCaffrey.
our trusty producer Andrew, Daniel is my brother, no relation, gross,
And my co-host Daniel the Boogar
and Justin.
Hargrove.
I've been having such a great time,
It's
Tomaszewicz.
true. I did have a great time with you guys. I've been having a great time.
Or
It's a good
Justin,
meeting.
I get Daniel grounded all the time.
You
Tomaszewicz.
probably
Getting
deserved
Daniel
it.
grounded since, what,
Probably like 2001,
2001?
if not before. When did you move here? It pretty much started once you moved here.
99.
Getting Daniel grounded since 99, Tomaszewicz.
You deserved it.
You've been listening to the scrimmage.
You were a hooligan.
I gotta call my dad.
Daniel the Hooligan Hargrove. We still have Stump Daniel music playing.